What's up everybody, my name is Vincent. Welcome to Cryptolution, where we talk about everything under the moon in the crypto universe. Today is Tuesday, February 25th. In today's video, I want to share with you the dog holders, what's happening outside of dog Bitcoin. Now I'm talking about the overall landscape of cryptocurrency. Now you may have seen a lot of FUD in the market. People are saying that Bitcoin is going to head to 70,000. We are in extreme fear in terms of the fear and greed index. But also we're seeing activity with BlackRock, Binance, Wintermute. That's showing to me there's a little bit of market manipulation going on right now as we speak. Now the reason I'm bringing this all up and why this video is going to be kind of lengthy is because this actually affects you as a dog Bitcoin holder. So the reason I want to share this with you is because you need to understand what's happening in cryptocurrency and not just feel like it's only happening to you in the dog Bitcoin world. So let's get right into it. I don't want to waste any time. Smash up that like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join our Patreon page and our X platform. And please be careful with any of the scammers down in the comments below. I will never reach out via WhatsApp, Telegram, direct messaging, or email, so please be careful and invest safely. So guys and girls, let's get right into it. So dog Bitcoin right now is down 7.4% over the past 24 hours. Now you must be wondering, is that bad? It's the whole cryptocurrency market, ladies and gentlemen. But interesting enough, Bitcoin is actually down 8.1%. Now what's really interesting is that when dog dipped, I saw a lot of massive accumulation from either whales or just speculative retail investors. But we started seeing that right now, dog picked up a little bit of traction. Because usually if we see Bitcoin take a dip, like say for instance 7.8% over the past 24 hours, dog should be at least 10 to even 15%. And that's only because we saw retail buying the dip of dog. Does that mean it's going to last long? I don't really know. Honestly, I think that people within the Runes ecosystem, people that wanted to buy the #1 meme coin across all blockchains in terms of it's being on Bitcoin and powered by Bitcoin and backed by Bitcoin. Yeah, I think this was an opportunity for them now that, dog is basically priced in sats or aka Satoshis. Now, this is the chart right now. So as you can see, last night we hit a low around 2.34 sats. And as you can see, lots of a massive accumulation here. That's why we're actually right back up here at 2.59 sats. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if this decided to take another retracement to the downside, aka maybe drop to around 2.4. But I'm thinking that right now there are people sitting on the sidelines just waiting for something to happen. And until then, you're going to see a lot of retail investors either sell or buy and trade and consolidate sideways for a little bit. Now, in terms of ranking, dog Bitcoin is ranked number 21 of meme coins across all blockchains. What's really interesting is that MOG ended up dropping down further. It used to be close to around Fartcoin, but ended up dropping significantly a little bit more. And so you're seeing that right now, dog Bitcoin isn't going up or going down. It's just staying in its own ranking. So we're just seeing the whole crypto market trying to figure itself out. Now, when we look at the actual market cap of top meme coins, remember, yesterday this used to be around $62 billion, now at $61 billion, so we shedded $1 billion, which is kind of crazy. Now, this little diagram is very interesting. It's the fear and greed index. Now, yesterday, we were in a neutral phase. Now we are in extreme fear. Now, the reason this is important is because extreme fear usually is a buying opportunity. This is something that we've kind of understood in the crypto world. Whenever we're in extreme fear, we see that as either a buying opportunity or maybe a sign of what's to come. But considering that Bitcoin is roughly around 87,000 right now, and we're at extreme fear, I feel like there's another leg up, meaning we're going to experience another parabola pretty soon. I mean, look at the total liquidations, right? All these different platforms are experiencing around 80 to 90% of total long liquidations. Longs are people who are very bullish on Bitcoin and probably just other digital assets such as Ethereum as well. Now, if you want to understand how much money was liquidated out of the leverage traders, roughly over the past 24 hours, it was $1.4 billion. That's right, $1.4 billion of longs and probably shorts liquidated. And that's just because that's how this game is. Right now, as a dog Bitcoin holder, you're caught in between a battle between leverage traders versus Binance and hedge funds. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. Now, let's talk about Wintermute. So we saw yesterday that Wintermute, by the way, is a market maker, withdrew around $38 million in SOL from Binance. And this is ahead of Solana's $2 billion token unlock that's going to happen very soon. Now, what's interesting enough is that Binance is actually selling a whole bunch of Ethereum, Solana, but not only that, it's also selling SUI, Ethereum, Trump token. Even BlackRock just earlier this morning transferred roughly around $44 million of ETH and roughly around $160 million of Bitcoin to Coinbase Prime. And this is coming out of the IBIT ETF, the Bitcoin ETF for BlackRock, okay? So this, to me, shares with you that something bigger is going on. Now, keep in mind, 160 million in Bitcoin, 44 million in Ethereum is not a lot of money. In fact, they have billions of dollars of both of these different assets. So this is what I want to share with you, right? And this is just my personal opinion. The crypto market manipulation isn't just about the price or the market cap. It's about controlling your mind. It's called misdirection, and you usually see this with magicians, right? Its goal is to drown you in fear and uncertainty. This is retail investors and even professional traders as well. Now, I've noticed that YouTube and also ex-content creators that are also leverage traders are screaming right now that we're heading possibly lower to around a 70,000 Bitcoin target range. That's playing right into the hands of Binance and market makers such as Wintermute. Even hedge funds like BlackRock, which I just mentioned, will move small amounts of Bitcoin and Ethereum to Coinbase. Now, the reason for this is because potentially they're baiting the media into pushing a false liquidation narrative. Now, the reason I think this is happening is because I think they're just here to distract you from really what's coming. A Bitcoin strategic reserve, which, by the way, is a white swan event. This is something that people think that it may not happen and possibly could happen. But a Bitcoin strategic reserve is very bullish because once the United States, when or if they do that anytime soon, all these other countries, everybody is going to start buying a ton of Bitcoin. Now, Senator Cynthia Lummis, who is the senator that created the framework for the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, is becoming the chairman for the first digital asset hearing this Wednesday. And she says big things are cooking. I feel like Cynthia knows something regarding where we are at with the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, but there are powerful forces that don't want you to pay attention to that. So say, for instance, Tom Lee, who is an analyst and also a person that has been studying Bitcoin and also hard assets, he has something to share with you why there are people out there that don't want Bitcoin over 100,000. I'll let that clip play right now.
There's a lot of folks who don't want Bitcoin over 100,000, and some of it may be the exchanges themselves are concerned because there is a pretty low supply of Bitcoin available over the counter. So you have a supply shortage, and if Bitcoin makes a move above 100,000, I think there'd be a big chase.
So now that you've heard Tom Lee share with you why people don't want Bitcoin over 100,000 and why these exchanges don't want it over 100,000, look back on 2021. Now, back in 2021, we saw that Bitcoin drew down 56%, Ethereum draw 61%, Solana drew down around 67%, and many other altcoins, gaming altcoins, meme coins dropped between 70 to 80%. Doesn't this sound familiar? He continues to say you can come up with all the reasons for why this cycle is different, but the mid-bull cycle reset we're going through isn't unprecedented. Those calling for a full-blown bear are misguided. Now, what he's talking about is that we saw a big bull run for Bitcoin in the very early stages. And then you saw that Bitcoin hit roughly around, almost close to around $60,000. And he's talking about this pullback, right? It dropped down nearly 50% until, remember, this was kind of a fake out until we pulled up for another parabola event up to 61,000. So that's what he's referring to, is that right now when you're seeing Bitcoin draw back roughly around 15 to 20% over the past 24 hours, that's completely necessary. Who knows if it does go down to 70,000, that would be a 50% drawdown, right? So just think about that. If that does happen, it's because there are powerful forces that want to suppress Bitcoin down below 100,000 so that they can buy back in. Here's a great example. So MicroStrategy, aka Michael Saylor, bought just roughly $2 billion worth of Bitcoin as of yesterday. He continues to buy. These are great examples of how hedge funds and also companies and also exchanges are trying to buy up as much Bitcoin as possible to get you to feel fearful of what's going on in the market. I mean, if you're not bullish enough, just think about it like this. Just today, the SEC drops another investigation, which was against Uniswap. And this is just one of many. Dan from Crypto Capital Ventures brings up a really great point. SEC drops case against Uniswap earlier today, but also in the last month, they dropped the case against Coinbase, Robinhood, OpenSea, and they're still pausing right now with Binance because Binance is unregulated. It's outside the United States, and you saw what they're doing, manipulating the market, using Wintermute to be a market maker to sell certain assets just to make you feel fearful. I think Jeff Park, the head of alpha strategies at Bitwise, made a great example of what's going on in the market. Now he says, I've seen this movie too many times. People wish for lower prices. When they get them, they lose faith and find new reasons to doubt. Then it rips. By the time they convince themselves to buy, it's already at new all-time highs. Losers wait for confirmation, while winners act before it. So this is why you have to understand, as a cryptocurrency holder and as a dog Bitcoin holder, when you're seeing the price this low, not many people will buy. So when you do buy something like this at this specific stage, you'll understand that when we go into these all-time high prices, when the market starts moving to the upside, all you have to do is to sit back and relax. You don't need to dollar cost average when it goes up. You need a dollar cost average when things go down. That's how winners win. Now, I gotta share this hilarious video by Rational Root. He created a video that's basically a cycle analysis of Bitcoin's price. And this is actually a really interesting diagram, but it shares with you kind of the mentality of how things get really boring before they reach the next leg up. I'm gonna go ahead and play that video right now.
As you can see here on the chart, for like 4 years, Bitcoin was in like the hundreds of dollar range. And it just kind of hung out there. Yeah, like maybe it bounced down, maybe it bounced up. But it was basically in the hundreds of dollar range for like 4 fucking years. Then it went to the thousands of dollar range. And it just stayed there. Yeah, it bounced above 10 briefly. But it went in the thousands of dollars range. And it just kind of hung out there. Yeah, like maybe it bounced up, maybe it bounced down. But it went in the thousands of dollars range. Then it went to the tens of thousands of dollars range. And it stayed there for 3 fucking years. And now we're coming to the end of it. What the fuck do you think is going to happen next? You think it's going to go to the $0 range? No, it's going to $100,000 fucking dollars. The fuck gone. 6-figure range, bitch. It's going 6 figures.
So that video was quite hilarious. I hope you enjoyed that. So let's look at Bitcoin dominance right now. So this is currently Bitcoin dominance. Now, earlier yesterday, we saw that Bitcoin was pretty much holding steady above 90,000, while every altcoin out there was going down 50, 70, 90%, right, out there in the world. So Bitcoin dominance was rising and went up to 62%, but the wicks got bigger and the candles got shorter. That means the weakness of Bitcoin dominance is still getting weaker. So it's really struggling right now. It doesn't mean that it won't get to close to around 62.89%. It still can be in the cards. But I really feel like we just haven't experienced an altcoin rally season yet. And really, we haven't experienced a Bitcoin top yet. I really feel that right now we're still in the cards to see an altcoin rally happening pretty soon. Okay, let's take a look at Bitcoin's price, right? So this is a major support level at around 90,000, and we're right below that at around $86,000, $87,000. So we broke past the support level around 5 times, one right here, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now 6. So we're below that range, but look at the wick. The wick is getting shorter. Now, this does not mean that we'll go down to around 70,000. Anything's possible. A lot of these leverage traders will tell you to do so. But remember, there is a battle between leverage traders, exchanges like Binance, and also hedge funds like BlackRock. They are all fighting within each other, and you, the Bitcoin dog holders, are caught in the middle of this battle. So really, I just think you just need to sit and wait and just enjoy the ride. But no matter what, selling when things are down is a complete loss. Why would you do that? And we still have the month of March to consider that we possibly could see a reversal to the upside, not just with dog Bitcoin, but the cryptocurrency market as well. We've seen so many different black swan events, but have you noticed that we haven't seen a single white swan event? If you don't know what a white swan event is, it's basically the opposite of a black swan. So black swans are basically unpredictable events that are actually very negative for the stock market, crypto, and also gold. It's just what we can't see coming. White swan events are the exact opposite. It's like one random news of like maybe a Bitcoin strategic reserve, or maybe it's a country accumulating a ton of Bitcoin that nobody knew was actually buying. Maybe it's also that we have better regulation within the United States. Who knows? Like any white swan event can happen. But right now you're seeing a lot of manipulation as we speak. We're still in the buy zone. Remember, this is when winners win, and while losers only sell at these specific peaks. So I'm going to close it off with this message, okay? So the market right now is facing intense manipulation right now as we speak. Powerful players don't want Bitcoin soaring past 100,000. You've seen what Binance and Wintermute are doing by offloading assets to shake out retail investor, liquidate longs, and scoop up Bitcoin and altcoins at lower prices. Now, the thing I want to bring up about Binance is that it's an offshore crypto exchange that operates without the same regulation as traditional markets such as Coinbase. They use the assets on their platforms to manipulate prices, ensuring their own advantages by the end of the day. Their exchange is their casino, and they control the game. And here's the bigger picture. We saw what happened with SEC dropping all these different cases against Coinbase, OpenSea, Robinhood, and even Uniswap as earlier today. But we have a pro-crypto president, pro-crypto council, we have an SEC that is shifting favor of the industry, and then you have companies such as MicroStrategy continuing to buy and dollar cost average with Bitcoin. We saw the golden cross for altcoins. February and March historically are very bullish, even though February now has been a different month, meaning Bitcoin has been trading sideways around 90K, which is abnormal, by the way. It's being suppressed for a reason. So March, who knows if that will be a bullish month? And keep in mind, March typically is like roughly 35% bullish historically, every Bitcoin halving, or at least a year after the Bitcoin halving. 35-40% bullish. The rest of it has actually had bearish sentiment, meaning it hasn't had a best performing month. Could we see a reversal because of that? Could we see Bitcoin and cryptocurrency reverse in March? Well, that's what we'll see. So in a nutshell, this is basically what you need to know as a dog Bitcoin holder. I hope that this information has been very helpful for you to understanding what's happening outside of our economy, outside of our world. Because what happens outside in the crypto world is ultimately going to affect us. But nonetheless, I continue to hold dog. I continue to dollar cost average because I've done this before. I've been in this cycle before. I've bought Solana, I bought Bonk, and now I'm buying dog Bitcoin. I bought many assets when there were people fearful of these different things. You have to remember, Bitcoin's always going to be here forever. Dog that's on Bitcoin is going to be here forever. The community is always going to be here forever. So keep that in mind. So at a 220 million market cap, this is not even 1%, which would be roughly around the 18 billion, even $17 billion range at the time of this recording where Bitcoin's price is at right now. But Bitcoin's going to go so much higher, and that means dog Bitcoin at some point will go much higher as well. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I cannot wait to read them. So let's go ahead and smash up that like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join our Patreon page and our X platform if you want to receive all of our alpha calls and trades regarding dog on the moon. Till then, see you guys girls next time.